Okay. Yeah. Hopefully internet will cause no more drama. So as I was saying, like, my mixed feeling in the last class, it's probably how many years? 10 years now, a decade. I've been teaching university courses. So I've taught courses in different country contexts, in different university contexts, with different student cohorts. So 10 years is a long time. A decade I've been teaching at the university level. So definitely I have developed like a stronger relationship with lots of students from different countries, but probably especially students in Bangladesh. That has been probably the most intimate connection that I had with all the students. So I would really miss this connection with all of you. But yes, we are at the very end. So very last class, how this will progress, we will be talking about the last topic, which is integrated marketing communication. We'll talk about our topic, integrated marketing communication, and followed by that, we'll have some discussion on the final exam. We will have discussion around the group assessment, just double checking how it's going so far. So we'll have a chat regarding that. And then towards the end, I will leave some time for us to discuss if anyone has got any issues or anything. So we'll talk about that. In terms of midterm grade, I believe I have been able to mark most of the papers, if not all. I still think there's 2-3 papers that I'm still missing, and that could be probably misplaced emails or sending from different emails and things like that. Some of you have not mentioned your student ID correct in your paper as well, so make sure in your final exam, although you will be you've emailed, but still make sure you don't mistype your student ID. That's also something that's a big problem. So some of you have mistyped your student email as well. So please make sure that does not happen. While I am starting the class, people are waiting online, so I'm letting everyone inside the class at the same time. So yes, towards the end, we'll have a floor for discussion. Like if anyone has got anything to ask, any question, or I'll leave some time for consultation towards the end. So that's how the course will proceed. Now the topic we have is full on. I mean, it's a huge topic, IMC, which stands for Integrated Marketing Communication, and it's a complete course on its own. But we will try to just probably scratch the surface, what I say, of this course or this topic today in our class. So very brief discussion, but I'll try to give you a good sense of the term integrated marketing communication. And then with that, we'll try to understand as much as we can. So we are talking about the last P, in the succession of all the P's we have discussed so far. We had already discussed product, price, and promotion, place. Last week we were discussing about place as the other P. So today's P is promotion. Promotion is the last P of the 4 P's that probably is the foundational concept of marketing. So in order to do that, we will try to understand this one. Now, the concept of promotion has moved away quite a bit. And nowadays, it's no longer just described as promotion only. So it includes an integrated approach. And for that reason, the term integrated marketing communication is used. So we will be talking about integrated marketing communication, and I will be defining that as well. But yes, I am just getting slightly distracted with more people dropping in and out of the class, so that I'm just letting everyone in. So the attendance still looks like probably 70%. I know you may have lots of questions for me, so don't worry. We have some time for question and answer as well towards the end. So we'll go to that too. So what I will do now, I will start sharing my screen. One thing I like to do a lot in my class is to use some videos and stuff like, alternative medias, but obviously due to network and connectivity and being virtual, we weren't able to do that. Because there's plenty of useful resources on these topics, which we could have just see in the class. But anyway, so can you all see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, that's good. So integrated marketing communication, that's a term that you will be hearing quite a lot in the arena of marketing, especially when you will be working with marketing driven roles or marketing based organizations. You will be hearing this concept a lot. So what is integrated marketing communication? So the integrated marketing approach is something because the traditional approach was only to look into the traditional ways of advertising, which is television, radios, magazines, newspapers, and billboards. But nowadays, with the advent of technology, with the advent of internet, there are many things which are becoming part of marketing as well, which in previous days was almost unheard of. So for instance, nowadays we can use social media, right? I mean, social media probably is the biggest advertising platform these days. People no longer wait to see things on the TV or newspaper advertisement. Imagine how often you wait to see TV advertisement as compared to what you see on social media. Every time you watch a YouTube video, every time you go to Facebook, every time you Google online something, you see advertisement everywhere. And thus, it's becoming an approach where you have to integrate so many things, right? So you need to get to the online space as well. So you need to integrate many things together. And that's why it's called integrated marketing communication, because your marketing communication is no longer confined within one or two medias, print media or television or newspapers, but rather your marketing communication has to be very all-encompassing, as what they say. All-encompassing means it's all inclusive. There's so many things you have to incorporate. So if you're only thinking about one simple media of advertisement and you think that, well, this will help my business to promote, it's no longer possible. If any Bangladeshi brand, which is really trying to become a popular brand, and if they think that, well, we will only do TV advertisement, we have great TV advertisements and promotions, and if you're thinking that's going to work, unfortunately not. So in order to build your strong appearance into the marketplace, you need to build an integrated approach. So we know that what is marketing. So up till now, we have come to the understanding that marketing is an organizational function. Marketing is also involves process of creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers. Okay, so this is one of the common theme that we have derived, that marketing is, and there's few things, obviously: creating, communicating, and delivering. So when we say delivering, that probably refers back to the place. When it says creating, that probably talks about product. When you talk about communicating, that probably talks about like the promotion, the P. And when it comes to value to customers, that has to be done in exchange of something, and that is what the price is. So managing customer relationship in ways that benefit the organization and its stakeholders. And there are a few things that we have considered so far in our discussion. Understanding the concept of value. We have understood the concept of value. Can someone define what is value up till this point? If I can just randomly ask you, what is value? Because as we're saying that marketing is the process of creating value to customers. So what is value, if I may ask you at this point, after the last 11 weeks, what do you think? What is the concept of value?
Value is the perceived of the satisfaction from the particular product.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it.
That's I have a point, I have a pen, and it is nice to be written, and it has the value.
Yes. So value is the consumer's perception about your product or service, right? Because how do consumers perceive you? That is value. So again, the meaning of value needs to be very clearly defined, because the concept is the concept of value is perceptual. It's based on our individual perception. For some people, let's say a smartphone, maybe for a student, is a product of great value. If someone gives you a gift like a smartphone, it is something of great value to you. But imagine you are providing a smartphone gift to a person who can barely eat, maybe a rickshaw in Bangladesh, okay? Or someone as poor as that. If you give them a smartphone as a gift, that will not be very valuable to them, because to them, that is not as significant as it to you. Because for them, what would be more significant would be probably, which is maybe will, feed their family, or maybe that will give them some money, because that is value to them. So the meaning of value is not universal, and it's very perceptual to consumers. So delivering value to consumers, that's what marketing does. So the traditional approach of marketing is, when it comes to the traditional approach of marketing, it's as you can see, these are all the different pieces of the puzzle, and these puzzle pieces are all over the place. They're a bit scattered, they're not aligned together, and they're all a bit messed up, like, messy here and there. Randomly, you are thinking that, we need to do some media, some advertising. So that is traditional marketing approach. When you are thinking that, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe we should do that. This is like a very traditional marketing approach. But the ones that are very successful or very, customer-driven organization, they take an approach which is called the contemporary approach of marketing. And the contemporary approach of marketing is, this is where you'll see all of your puzzles are nicely aligned together. See, all the pieces, they're all nicely put together. And this is what the concept of IMC is. So the traditional marketing approach, it does everything, but not in an aligned or a synchronized way. Whereas the integrated marketing approach, which the term itself suggests that the word integration, that means you're integrating your forces in a way that will all power up your brand. It will give you that boost. That is what IMC is. But again, we might just try to understand a definition of IMC. What is IMC? So IMC is a strategic business process used to plan, develop, execute, and evaluate coordinated, measurable, persuasive brand communication programs with customers, prospect employees, and other relevant external and internal audiences. Okay, so if we can just underline some of these words, is to plan. So you need a plan for your integrated marketing communication. You need a plan. It's not unplanned like traditional marketing approach. And then once you have a plan, then you develop, you execute, and you evaluate, coordinate. So there are few, like, adjective we can see. Okay, there are few adjectives are being used which are really important in order to consider, because every marketing communication has to be evaluated as well, that whether this marketing campaign was successful or not. And that's also another approach which is not undertaken in traditional marketing approach. So in traditional marketing approach, you spend the money and then you think, well, we have done marketing, but integrated marketing communication comes with a very planned approach. And again, after your marketing, you also need to do some evaluation as well. Evaluation in the form of assessing the effectiveness of your campaign, whether this marketing effort, whether this marketing was effective or not. So this is what IMC stands for. So the goal of IMC is to generate short-term financial returns and build long-term brand value. So this is something you have to keep in mind, that you have to generate short-term financial return and build long-term brand value. So if we look around, all of these giant brands in the world, very massive brands in the world, they always think of the future. They have got a bigger vision for the future, that how they would like to do business, because no one wants to do a business for 5 years or 3 years. But when you establish a business, you have to think about that I'm going to do a business. I'm going to set up a business that would be probably for 50 years or even more than that. And that's why we've seen, these brands like Apple, when it started, can someone tell me? I always use the example of Apple. I don't know why, because maybe an iPhone is the first thing that captures my attention, my table. But Apple probably started in the 1970s, or in the early 80s. So, and you see that 1970s, right?
1976.
76, yeah. So, and you see that as the time goes by, they're becoming stronger and stronger day by day. And imagine how old that organization is. So if they did not have that long-term vision to build their brand value, it will not survive, or they would not be able to survive. And we have seen the example of failed brands in the world, the big brands in the world that have failed. And always, we don't have to go to the international arena. If we talk about the Bangladesh context as well, we see in Bangladesh, there's lots of big brands. They have successfully established themselves, whereas some brands which they did business for some times, and suddenly they are out of the radar. No one can see them anymore. Okay, my apologies. I'm back. So as I was saying, that we can tell from the example from the world today, we can easily tell. We can tell from the local context, from the Bangladesh market, from international market. We see the brands that are very successful and the brands that are not so successful, and we can easily tell that having that long-term vision is really important. And this is where the integrated marketing communication comes in, that you have to create very strong and integrated approach of your marketing and promotion. So that is what we're going to discuss today, and we will be talking about all the various tools of marketing as well. What are the various tools of integrated, for integrated marketing?
Sir, screen is not shared.
Yeah, we lost screen sharing, so I'll start sharing again. Okay, can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so contemporary perspective of IMC. So recognized as a business process, we have to think in mind that it's a process. There are multiple audiences or relevant audiences we have to think about, not only just one target segment that we will be talking about. Demand for accountability and measurement of outcomes. This is also something we have to keep in mind, that when an organization or a simple marketing campaign happens, what they do, they will probably send an advertisement. Simple example, maybe a Bangladeshi brand, they will do some advertisement for a few days and they will think, oh, okay, well, we have done some advertisement. But when you are having a lens like integrated marketing communication, probably after advertisement, you'll also build some mechanisms or funnels through which you'll also be able to measure the effectiveness as well. And every successful brand in the world, they do this as well, that for every campaign, advertising campaign or promotion that they do, they build a robust measurement framework, an evaluation framework through which they're able to understand that whether this was successful or not. And if this was successful, what were the reason? Can we upscale this one? Can we scale up or use this one again? And if this was not successful, what was the problem? So from there, they will be able to derive some key learnings and some lessons. So that's really important.
Sir, contemporary means the old knowledge of IMC, something like that.
Yes. No, sorry. Contemporary means the recent, okay? So contemporary means when we say traditional, that is old. But when you say contemporary, that means that is the most recent knowledge or the perspective of IMC.
Okay.
Okay. Now, just testing knowledge. Why are marketers decreasing the use of mass media advertising and increasing the use of integrated marketing communications? So keep in mind, mass media advertising is called advertising media like television. It's a mass media advertising. And mass media advertising, it's called newspaper because it reaches to a mass audience. Okay, so these are called mass media type of advertising.
Sir, I think they usually reduce on the mass media part because they want to decrease the overall product price. If we think about OnePlus, when they initially started their phone, like OnePlus One, they did not do any television advertisement. Everything was, every promotional strategy was done through social media platform. Hence, their price was very low.
Okay.
But in terms of Samsung, they do a lot of advertisement, and that is why their phones prices are relatively high. There are other things involved, but promotional cost is one of them.
Okay, but I want you to choose from these options. Choose from these options and tell me that why marketers are decreasing mass media advertising and increasing integrated marketing communication.
So the mass market has become fragmented, I guess.
Okay. What about the other ones?
On my opinion,
What was that, Nuhash? Which one?
in my opinion, it's option C.
Option E?
Option C, 3 number option, sir. Use of
Achha.
internet and electronic commerce is growing.
So all the options seems answer to me. I think E will be the correct one.
Yes, actually the answer is E, because all of the above are the reason why. Because if we analyze each of these options, the first one, the mass market has become fragmented, right? If we consider the mass market, the market size, if we consider previously, people used to have, like, you know, the target market was very mass, but nowadays, imagine when it comes to as simple as, like, you know, what example should I pick up? Like, you know, let's say tea, okay? So if we consider the example of tea, now within tea itself, there are so many variations. Because previously people used to put up advertisement, okay, all right, Lipton tea, the greatest tea of all time, Lipton tea, you know, fresh brewed tea and everything. But if you consider today's, if you consider the fragmentation of the market of only people who drinks tea, there are so many fragments, right? So there's, like, you know, green tea, there's, like, you know, organic tea, there's, like, you know, I don't know how many different types of tea variations these days. So in every market, people's, like, you know, there's so many different fragments. Market is breaking into smaller and smaller pieces. And this is, as the society is evolving, people's choice, people's preferences are also taking different shapes. In previous days, when you were selling motorbikes, for instance, they were just selling one single type of motorbike, like, you know, Hero, Honda, maybe simple. But nowadays you see the variation and the type of motorbikes. So everything, if we consider the example that the mass market is becoming fragmented, new technologies have given consumers greater control over the communication process. And that's also true. We see all the advent of technology, and we're using technology now. We're using smartphone, we're using internet, we're using Internet of Things, IoT, like, you know, Web 2, and so many different variations. Use of the internet and electronic commerce is growing, right? We know that people are buying things more than ever before online. So that's also another trend. And new global markets are also emerging. We have to keep in mind. In previous times, it was almost as impossible to buy something sitting from Bangladesh. But even from Bangladesh today, you can actually you can do transaction with global brands. So all of these are reasons for which the concept of mass media advertising. So again, mass media advertising are all the traditional marketing approach. And nowadays it's becoming the era of integrated marketing communication. So the growing importance of IMC is noteworthy because it gives the brand a strategic integration of communication functions. So it avoids duplication, synergy among promotional tools, more efficient and effective marketing. You can tell me the concept of synergy. I think we've talked about this one before. Can anyone talk about what is synergy?
Sir, isn't it the cooperation between two or more constant or companies, organizations, something like that?
Yes, it is, but I'm just asking in general, if we consider the concept of synergy in the business world, the term synergy is very widely used. So as you are like, postgrad student at this level, it's very important that you all are familiar with the term synergy. You will be hearing this term quite a lot when you will be working in different organization, no matter whichever type of organization is. So that's why I just gave a pause here, and I wanted to know if someone has any understanding of the word synergy.
Sir, the output of two companies will be greater than one. I think that's what it is indicating.
Yes, I mean, again, that is going to the company. Even before going to the company, I still want to reflect on the word synergy itself.
It's a collective effort, not doing it individually rather than having a teamwork.
Yeah, so yes, you are right in that sense, but again, I'm probably trying to deconstruct the term synergy. So the term synergy means the sum of total is always greater than its individual parts. Okay, so the
2 plus
sum.
2 is equals to 5.
Sorry.
2 plus 2 is equals to 5.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 equals 5. So the sum of two things will be always greater than its individual parts. That's what synergy is. We know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. But the concept of synergy is when you combine forces together, it will always multiply the effect. And that's what the term synergy is. So in the business world, you will hear that organizations, they'll always tell that, yes, we now have to achieve synergy. Our target this year to increase our sales by creating synergy with our product and services. That means this is multiplying the impact. So this is not only what 2 plus 2 equals 4 will give, but you have to do more than that. You have to achieve more than that. And that's where the concept of synergy comes in. So when you say synergy among promotional tools, that means your aim is to create synergy within your promotional tools. So whichever promotional tools that you will be using, so that there's no more duplication, rather it will multiply the impact. More efficient and effective marketing. IMC gives you that effective marketing and efficient marketing. So there's lots of, this is the reason there's lots of advertising agencies, like the business of advertising agencies and all of these brands or digital marketing agencies. These are growing in recent years, and because they always sell, although few are able to deliver that, actually they sell that we will do your IMC, we'll take that integrated marketing communication. Because sometimes if you're only considering that, yes, through our marketing, branch, we will be sending some advertisements and everything, but that may not work. And that's when you go to the professional. So they're marketing experts. They will actually help you to build that integrated marketing communication strategy. And it's rapidly changing environment like consumers, technology, and media. So these are the few things combining together makes the thing builds the strength and creates that synergy. So that's why the concept of IMC is growing rapidly. Okay, so behind the growing importance of IMC, if we could just think about the growing importance of IMC, so from where it's going. So from media advertising, it is going to multiple forms of communication. Okay, from mass media, it is going to specialized media. From manufacturer dominance, it is going to the retailer dominance, because the retailer, they're the ones who are more close to the consumers. So to a lot of extent, they can give you a better marketing than the manufacturer. In general marketing, you have like the focus is general, where in IMC, it's data-driven or data-based marketing. low agency accountability, greater agency accountability. So agency accountability, the term means that your marketing agency, when they will be launching an integrated marketing campaign, they will have greater accountability. Then comes traditional compensation to performance-based compensation. When your employees, I mean, the better the performance is, the better the pay will be for them as well, in many ways. But it's not only about the pays of the company, but it's also about the compensation or the yield that you derive from your IMC. Limited internal availability, internet availability. So we can see from where it's going towards where, the concept of IMC.
Sir,
Yeah.
so can you give an example of the retailer dominance in the previous slide?
Okay, so retailer dominance, as we understand that, try to understand that the manufacturer dominance means the manufacturers, sometimes they lack that insight about the market. They do not know what is happening in the market. Okay, so while they take on the role of advertisement to some extent, or in the most cases, they do all the, they will do the promotions and everything. But what this is referring to is that your retailer can also be your front face. When you are creating products or services, your retailers are your front face, and they can also do your promotion or advertisement. And simple example is Agora. Okay, so Agora, if you go to Agora, Pran may have all of their products, right? Pran spices, they have Pran rice, Pran maybe other confectionery items and everything. And Pran is the manufacturer. But how to sell these products best? Agora will actually take better strategies than Pran, because Agora they can create their own strategies, like bundling the product with some other products, which time to give the promotion and things like that. So it's no longer manufacturer dominance. Manufacturers only do not dominate the advertisement, but rather they constantly seek input from the retailer as well, which is really important, because the retailers will give a better understanding about what is happening. Okay, so that's important to consider, that your retailer, you're giving more empowerment to your retailer as well, because they are the front face.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, that's good. So the role of IMC in branding, we know that IMC plays a major role.
I have a question. Like, integrated marketing approach is not just using one media. It means we have to use other medias if necessary, and there should be an integration, or the word synergy that you have used. There should be an integration. So if one media took if one media cost much money than other media, then in this case, what should be my approach as a marketer? Like, I have to use that media, which one costs more, but in this case, what should I do?
Well, you should choose the one that is right. That is what integrated marketing. In integrated marketing, there's no should, we should do this. It's always depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, depending on your budget, depending on the current, market, you need to create a very, what do you call that, agile lens through which you can change, you can adapt yourself to the market as and when needed. So this will be based on, because if you do not have capacity, let's say for your marketing, if you do not have the budget, so you should not be doing that. So you should only do that which your brand has the capacity. So that's what the concept of integrated marketing is.
Okay.
So IMS actually plays a major role in developing and sustaining brands, identity, and equity. It's really important because your brand's identity is a combination of your brand's name and logo and symbols and design, packaging, performance, everything together. And your integrated marketing is actually part of everything. So imagine name, logo, symbols, each of these things are all important. And they all need to be intertwined together. They all need to be linked together. Imagine, again, I always use the example of Apple. I don't know, I'm very biased. When you hold that Apple phone, the package, from the moment you hold the phone package, the way it's packaged, the way everything, you will feel the mark of excellence in everything, whether it's in the packaging, whether the way it's being delivered to you, whether the way it's everything inside intact, the product, or everything together, you will see to some extent the mark of excellence and performance and image and everything together. And this is all actually due to the lens of integrated marketing communication, because there could be many brands in the world. They may have great products, but they don't know how to sell their product well. They may have great marketing, but their pricing may not be that great. They may have great feature in their product, but still they have not been able to showcase that feature. And integrated marketing actually helps to combine all of these together. And that's why we see the most and biggest successful brands, they have their marks of excellence in everything, every simple thing, every simple thing. They will ensure that the quality, because it's rigorously assessed. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're selling is very rigorously assessed from the beginning till the end. And that's why it's really important. Now let's look into some of the, in the world. If we look in the world, what's happening? The world's most top 10 most valuable brands. Okay. Again, I'm not sure how old this data is. It's Finance Global 500 2021. Yeah, brand directory. From brand directory, this one comes in. So we can see Apple definitely number 1 brand in the world. In number 2, there's Amazon. 2, 3, 4. These are all all the technology brands. They are obviously reigning here. I mean, they have a majority. They are largely dominating the whole market. But there's some other brands in the world as well, which are also some Chinese and some Chinese brands are also dominating the market as well. So important thing for us to understand that how marketers are creating that integrated marketing communication approach. Okay, all right. So finding new ways to build brands. Consumers are driving the trend. So there's many things, right? I mean, they view brands as a form of self-expression. So when you want to create your brand into consumers' mind, you have to think about this one, because a brand is a form of self-expression. Whatever you use today, that gives a self-expression or identity. Which type of car you drive, that gives you a self-expression. Which type of clothing brand that you have, that will give a self-expression. Which type of phone, smartphone that you use, that gives your audience or your peers or your people around you an expression about yourself. So this is something you have to create a brand, because your brand should have a customer journey mapping as well. In commercial terms, we call this customer journey mapping. So your brand should actually tell that, well, this is what the consumers would perceive, or the self-expression should be. They know more about brands and the companies that make them. So consumers are very knowledgeable these days. You have to keep in mind that consumers are very knowledgeable. Yes, Nuhash, go ahead.
Sir, is it like providing the company portfolio?
Which one?
এই যে স্যার যেটা বললেন যে কোম্পানির নলেজ জানানো, মানে কনজিউমারের সাথে কনজিউমার হিস্টোরি বা কনজিউমারকে আমরা যে সার্ভিসগুলো দিয়েছি, ব্র্যান্ড জার্নি, এই জিনিসটা কি কোম্পানি পোর্টফোলিওর মতো?
No, this is about, as we're saying that consumers are driving the trend. How consumers are driving the trend when it comes to building a brand. So they know more about brands and the companies that make them. So this is more about knowledge about the company. All right. So like nowadays, consumers can know everything about your brands or the companies, what you're doing, because everything is so transparent, everything is so public these days. I mean, they will eventually know. So consumers are also driving the trend of how you are going to build your brands, because your consumers, they know everything about you. If you sell a dodgy product or like a bad product, consumers will identify. But if you produce a good product, it will have a word of mouth anyway, and you will be able to sell that easily.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, when we have to, like, when we are introducing a new product in the market, our IMC should be like everyone should know this brand, like the word of mouth should be there, so that the building of brands can be there, something like that.
No, it's not it should be there. I'm saying that as soon as you come in the market, your consumers will know everything about you. There's no way that you will hide something. So I'm saying that they know more about brands and companies that make them. So they know everything about the brands. So, imagine E-Valley, right? E-Valley in Bangladesh is an epic story. Like what E-Valley was doing, like, initially, if you look back when E-Valley started as a very successful commercial brand or e-commerce site, which is about to compete with big brands like Daraj. So they were thinking that, well, we're going to make or compete, and they just went crazy in the illusion of making more money. The founders and people involved at the top, they just went crazy to make more money. But eventually consumers came to know about them. There's no way you can hide facts about your product or what you sell. So that's what this one means. Your companies will be, or your customers will be very much aware of whatever you sell, whatever you do. That's the thing. Cynicism about corporations is at all-time high. Yes, cynicism means being cynical, right? So corporations, this one does not apply to Bangladeshi context a lot, because in Bangladesh, there's not that very large multinational corporations. Although these days there are some multinational corporations in Bangladesh are also operating, like, Walton and probably some others, MGH Group. I mean, yes, they are also coming into the market, but this means that there's a massive awareness in the market about these corporations and what's happening. So anything you do wrong, I mean, it will be public news the following day. if Walton, any problems in their product, and this will be a public news. In the developed world, there's something that happens every now and then. There's a recall, or when I used to drive a car called Mazda, and in Mazda, yes, not the Ford. Yeah, I had a Ford as well. So in Mazda, the thing is, there's one accident took place in some part of the world where someone died in that accident. And later it was revealed that the airbag that they have in their steering wheel had some problems. As soon as this was revealed, they decided that we have to recall all of our Mazda brands, specific brands that people are driving, because in the event there are further collisions or accidents, more people might die and we may end up in having trouble. So with their own expense, they recalled all the car. And this happens in the developed countries, that they recall the car brand. So I got a call from my dealer from where I bought the car. They said that we would like you to come to us, please give us some time. And one day we will change the airbag inside your steering wheel. And please come to us, we'll do that absolutely free. So this is the reason I'm saying this, that the cynicism about corporations is at all-time high. So anything that you do, it will become a scene in the next day. It will be a public news in the next day. So example, we have, can someone recall the case study of Ford? We talked about the case study of Ford Pinto. Have we not talked about this one in the class?
No, sir.
We were talking about the Ford car. They had some problems. They had rear end collision or accident. People were dying. Have we not talked about this one in this class? Probably not. Anyway, yeah, because that's a funny story. But anyway, we'll probably just skip that aside. Like Ford Pinto, yeah, it's probably just extend the conversation now. We're already
Another example can be the Galaxy Note 7. We all know that their phones were exploding. In fact, in some flights, it was announced that you cannot board with your Galaxy Note 7 if you have one. So they recalled all those phones again. That is also another example.
Yeah, exactly. They seek and share information with other consumers by internet. Again, consumers easily, you review the product, everything that you do, consumers will review. They will write a Google review for your product. They will write some message for you on, there's so many sites these days through which consumers can easily give some feedback for your product. And if it's a bad feedback, you're in trouble, because that will affect your brand's identity in the market. Anyway, let us now quickly talk about all of these different tools, because we will be going through all of these. So these are all part of IMC. They are all intertwined or interlinked. So advertising, direct marketing, interactive or internet marketing, sales promotion, publicity or public relations, and personal selling. So these are all concepts, but however, these are old concepts, by the way. Nowadays, there's lots of new concepts as well. So we'll be talking about those as well, social media, buzz marketing, viral marketing, newer marketing. There's lots of different, ways of marketing are progressing. So we'll be talking about that as well. Now, in my next part of the discussion, we'll be just going through each of these one by one, just so that we all understand clearly, because we mostly understand what is advertising, but when it comes to the definition and some other aspect, it's worthwhile to understand this one a little bit. Can we have like a water break or something?
Yes, sir. A little.
Okay, because I'm thirsty. I need to just go fill up my bottle of water. So let's just give like a 5 minutes break. Okay. So if anyone needs to go to the toilet or get a glass of water or heat up your coffee or tea, whatever you're drinking, just go quickly. I'll also go fill up my bottle. And then we'll just quickly come back in 5 minutes. I'll leave my camera on as well. Right, sorry for the delay. So just resuming our discussion now. So we will be now going through the promotional mix tools. And these are all part of the integrated marketing communication. We're just going to look into them individually, but they will all come into the discussion of integrated marketing communication. So starting with advertising, probably that is the most the beginning of any form of promotional mix we will be talking about is advertising. So advertising is known as paid forms of non-personal communication. A simple definition of this is that it's can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So paid form and non-personal. In advertisement, it is all non-personal. That is, it's not driven by any person, but it's done through any other media. So advertising is about an organization, product, service, or idea, and just simply selling that through an identified sponsor. And that sponsor could be a radio advertisement, that sponsor could be TV, magazine, or whatever other form is. But the problem with advertising is that you don't receive any feedback from the audience, because once you do your advertisement, you do not get any feedback from your audience. You don't even know whether that's successful or not. It's important for products and services aimed at mass consumer markets. But sometimes when you want to reach out to a mass number of consumers or audience, it's useful. And it could be cost effective as well. So these are common forms of advertisement. National advertising, obviously we know that, in our TV, you go to a national television, you advertise any product, you know that easily you can reach out maximum number of customers in the country. So that is your common form of advertisement. Then retail or local advertising as well. So retail businesses, if you have, or where through which you are selling your product, they can be your advertisement as well. Again, same example comes in a shopping center as well. In the shopping center, there are lots of brands, and your retailers, they could also do some local advertising as well. And then it could be primary versus selective demand advertising as well. So you can either do it like, selectively, or demand driven advertising as well. And these are, by the way, these are only some of the consumer driven advertisement, but these are like, common forms of advertising that we see. And these are driven to end consumers. But you can also do that for businesses as well. So when it comes to business advertising, you could have business to business advertising. So one
Sir,
business to another one. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can you give an example of the selective demand advertising?
Yeah, sure. So selective demand, that means when there is a specific demand of advertising. Let's say mango, right? Mango in the season of summer is very popular. Now, you know that this is the time mango as a fruit, this is more popular. So which market it's more popular with? Maybe you go advertise that in the market where it is more important, but where there's a high demand of the market. But if you do the advertisement of mango in the areas where there's a massive volume of mangoes are producing, it may not be very useful. So the example that I'm trying to say is that it's dependent on your demand, how much demand that you have, and based on that you can create or give or promote that, like especially in the hot summer, you will see more and more advertisement of fan or air conditioners, right? But you're not going to do the advertisement during the period of winter, or like, you know, the fan and the air conditioner, because in winter, not many people will buy that. So these are, by the way, simple ways to look at advertisement. Okay, so this is, I'm just saying the different ways to look at advertisement, that you can simply think about, well, we will advertise nationally. You can think about, we will do some local advertising, or you can also think about selectively. So these are all driven by demand. And these are common forms of advertisement, by the way. These are more traditional form of advertisement. We're not talking about integrated marketing, because that will be a different type of campaign or approach. Business to business advertising, professional advertising, trade advertising. So these are, like, you know, when it comes to advertising to your business consumers, these are called, like, you know, business to business. So one business is advertising to another one. Anyone has got any question? If you don't understand, just raise your hand. I'm assuming that you will have at least this basic understanding what business to business relationship means. Professional advertising as well. This is, again, the term is a vague term, professional advertising. Like every advertisement meant to be professional, but what it refers to is that you will be advertising to, not to end users, but the ones that are business consumers, organizations. Imagine large organizations like, you know, maybe Banglalink or Grameenphone, and now we are going to just do some promotion for them, or, you know, you are selling some of your product to them. Okay, so maybe you are a lawyer and you want to provide legal services. So maybe you will be seeking clients, like, you know, corporate clients. So you're offering your services to them. Trade advertising as well. So in trade and commerce, you know, in the form of trade and commerce, you can have different type of trade advertisement as well. And that could be another advertisement. So you can go through via trade journals, trade magazines. So industry wide, there are different types of magazines and trade type of things, and trade shows. Like, you know, Banijya Mela in Bangladesh, right? Like in Banijya Mela, it's mostly end users, but there are types of Mela or Banijya type Mela. This is also happens for businesses as well, not only for end users as well. So this is different types of advertising we're talking about. Direct marketing is another way of doing things. Like advertising, yes, that sounds one way to promote your product, but direct marketing are also something that you can also consider. So direct marketing, as the name suggests, that you can do it through direct mail. Okay, so a culture Bangladeshi খুব বেশি নাই. This is not a culture that's widely seen in Bangladesh, sending direct mails, but in the Western countries or the developed world, there's a culture of still mail is like a massive culture. So all the big brands, they sell their, like they send their consumers across the, like, you know, every day I go open on my mailbox, I find, like, you know, maybe 10, 20 different, you know, advertisement from different companies. And this is called a direct marketing because they are sending it directly to me. Internet sales. When I'm watching Facebook, an ad, I want to see a video and I'm forced to watch an ad. It's a direct advertisement or direct marketing. Shopping channels. So e-commerce, you go to the e-commerce site you are looking for one product, but you will be shown 10 other related products. That is also a direct marketing. Catalogs. You are walking in the shopping mall. Someone will stand there and hand you over some catalogs. Please take our catalog. There are some services. Sometimes you might receive some calls from telemarketing agencies. Please take our credit card, or we're selling some products, XYZ product. Please take our product. Direct response advertising. So sometimes you can get advertising directly, and direct response advertising also could be in various forms, although there's no specific way of doing direct response advertising. But essentially what it means that the approach here is very direct. So it comes to you directly, and you don't have any choice to either you can close your eyes, you can shut your ear, you can choose not to receive that. But if your eyes are open, if your ears are open, then you're forced to be exposed to this form of advertisement. Even like, when you're walking on the street, or you are inside your car, you can still see some billboards, some like electronic display boards. And that's also direct marketing, because it's also already displaying something that you're forced to see. Like, yes, you can close your eyes, but still, these are all direct ways of doing marketing. Internet marketing, well, we know what internet marketing is, which is also known as interactive marketing. So it happens in real time. So in internet, we see that we stay, probably people on an average, younger generation, spend 2 hours on the internet. Can you imagine? Like on a given day of 24 hours, you'll probably sleep 7-8 hours, and then you'll have your work. Maybe that's another 7-8 hours, that work or study. And then you have sleep, you have other things. But apart from that, these days, it's been researched and found that people are using at least 2 hours on an average every day on the internet. That includes like browsing social media or watching videos and, doing what not. So the interactive medias like internet, CD-ROMs, okay, this is like old concept. There's nothing called a CD-ROM anymore. No one uses CD-ROM. Kiosk, interactive televisions, digital cell phones. So these are some old concepts. We don't need to be thinking about all of them, but some of these are just there because they're sitting that from old slides. But I hope we all understand what is internet marketing is. So if we were to think about the internet, because internet is the thing these days, like most advertising and promotion, everything is happening via the internet. So if we see internet as an IMC tool, let's try to understand the various ways we can think about this one. So educates or informs the customers, that's one of the things, because the internet is easy. Like, through internet, you can give extended advertisement, which will educate your consumers. Internet is also a persuasive advertising medium as well. With internet, you can use tools and promotions through which you can persuade the consumers easily by making it more interactive or making it more connected. But that you may not be able to do it with other media like TV advertisement or other type of advertisement, which is very one-way advertisement. Like whatever is shown, you're just watching it, that's it. But with internet advertising, you could interact with it. You can give your responses directly. A sales tool or an actual sales vehicle as well. So internet advertising could also be your sales tool as well. If you could convince your customers, easily you can generate sales from that as well. So some corresponding aspects as well, as you can see with each of these. For instance, when it comes to educating or informing customers, there's few things like obtaining consumer database information. That's easy because you can easily create consumer database. Communicates and interacts with buyers, so that's also something important. So providing customer service and support. So anyway, look, I mean, I'm not gonna read through the slides, everything. I mean, I'll leave some of it for you to discuss, because we do have to go through some of our end of course review and stuff like that. But yeah, sales promotion, we all understand what sales promotion is. Now consumer oriented and the trade oriented sales promotions are a bit different. As we know, B2B, B2C, there is one different than one another. So when it comes to sales promotions, it's simply attaching some promotional aspect with your sales. So while you're making the sales, or in the event you will make a sales, potentially you will add some promotion. So you go to the shop, you buy one, get one free. You see, like, especially before, major celebrations or Eid or Ramadan, or other ceremonies in different countries, you'll see there's some promotions, some samples, premiums, all of these things coming. These are all part of the thing called sales promotion. Advertising and publicity. Publicity is also another thing. We know that can you all hear me? Can someone tell me what is publicity is?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. What is publicity?
Publicity is like promoting. When you are doing it in mass media, you are showing it to
That is a mass marketing.
Yeah, it is mass marketing.
Yes, sir. That everyone should know. For an example, like the government advertisement. This is like a publicity. Like the social awareness about the coronavirus. This is an example of the publicity.
That's good. So using the media to pay specific attention to something, right? So creating that awareness and visibility about your product or services to consumers, that is what publicity is.
May I say something, sir? Sir, yeah. Sir, আমার স্যার নেটটা স্যার ইলেকট্রিসিটি স্যার চলে গেছে আর আমার স্যার লিমিটেড জিবি আছে স্যার, সো এনি টাইম স্যার আই কুড বি ডিসকানেক্টেড। ক্যান ইউ স্যার আমার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা একটু যদি দিয়ে রাখতেন?
Okay, all right, we'll give your attendance.
Sir.
So yeah, publicity is obviously any way that you promoting your product or service to the consumers in a way that is mass. Sometimes you capitalize the mass marketing way, or sometimes it could be simply just like within your small customer segment, but simply it is a form of attaining a broader consumer acceptance or building that awareness about your product. So whatever your product is, so it's building awareness. And this is done through, like, commercial organizations can do their awareness building. So for instance, like, when an automobile brand, they are going to launch a new car, prior to that, they will create some sessions, some awareness building, like, campaigns where consumers can go test run their car, consumers can see their features and things like that. Sometimes that could be fair, like, in IDB, computer fair, you have the different types of computer fair. When you go to the computer fair, every branch will have their own stall, like, shop where you can go, you can ask questions, you can know more about their product. So this is also another type of publicity. Sometimes in movies, like, you use your product and that becomes a type of publicity as well. When sports celebrities or other brands, they use your product sometimes, either directly or indirectly. That could also be a publicity as well. So it's more about creating that awareness into consumers' mind using specific media. Yeah, I'm just trying to actually finish my slides quickly so that we can go to more important things. So in your publicity vehicles, feature articles, news releases, interviews, press conference, special events, these are publicity vehicles. So feature articles like, about your product or service, you can write feature articles in the newspapers, and sometimes you can pay some other people, even the editor of the newspaper, pay some money from your organizations so that they will expand. You can have news release, you can have some interviews of your product or consumers with your consumers, or your consumer or the manufacturer. They could be interviewed by others. So that's called publicity. Anyone not understood publicity? What publicity is not? Any confusion about publicity?
Sir, publicity in real terms means it is also advertising, I guess. Like
It is, definitely it is advertising.
yeah, it's like here the viewer will be more exposed to the product or service. That's the difference, I guess.
What do you mean expose? I'm not sure about that.
Like if there is a feature article about a new service in a magazine, so the magazine readers, there are so many readers, they will read about the service and they will know about the service, and they might tell other people that to take this service, something like that. That's how the publicity works.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a chance that maybe that service is not going in that market. Now with this feature article in the magazine, the service will go that undiscovered market, something like that.
Yeah, so it's mostly about, building that awareness. Sometimes you can do that in a paid way or in an unpaid mass media as well. You can do that as well. So there's lots of things that are dependent in publicity, or when you're thinking about publicity. So it's not only about one specific media. There could be many other medias that could be involved within publicity. So that's the only thing that you have to keep in mind. Sorry, we'll just move on to the next one. Public relation. So public relation is systematically planning and distributing information in an attempt to control and manage image and nature of the publicity received. So public relation is, as we can see, it's a way to distribute the information and creating that image into consumers' mind. Okay, sometimes you can do some public relations with that. And some tools of public relations are cause-related marketing. Okay, so maybe, a brand, any Bangladeshi brand, they're trying to raise awareness about, like, being healthy, or maybe they're asking for, like, to raise awareness about the young age children, or something like that. That could be that's known as cause related marketing. So you're doing anything keeping in mind of some cause. community activities. For the community, you can maybe do some activities. Flood affected people, you're doing something for them. It's a way to do public, relation with victims. Public affairs activities, you can build engagement with your public or with your consumers. You can have special event sponsorship, like in a sporting event, you can do some sponsorship there. It's a way to publicity as well, and public relation too, because with that you're also building that relationship with public as well. Oh, so many slides. I'm just going to go through them quickly. Personal selling. We all understand what is personal selling. Who does not understand personal selling? Tell me.
Sir, we all understand.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So IMC audience contact tools. How are you going to connect with your audience? And these are lists. And this is not an exhaustive list of where you have to be exactly, this is the thing, these are the things that you have to have, but there could be many other things depending on what your product or service is. IMC planning process. This is important. Keep in mind, we have final exams. So whatever we're discussing could be topic of your final exam. Although which topic you have to read for the final exam, we have not discussed that one yet. We'll be doing that after this topic. But in your IMC, in that there's 4 different stages: planning, executing, evaluating, and controlling. So first off, you start with a bit of planning about your integrated marketing communication, what exactly you are trying to achieve. Then you execute that plan that you have done. Then after that, you do some evaluation, which is like getting feedback from consumers. Every time you call a Uber, after using Uber, every time you will be asked, how was your experience? Can you please rate the driver and everything? You're simply pressing yes, or you're simply writing something. But from that, Uber is actually collecting lots of data yourself. Really. What is your preferences? Which is the time of the day that you frequently travel? What is the general length of your travel? All of these things, these are getting, and then towards the end, they will ask you some questions as well. So that's how they're collecting, evaluating, and then they're controlling as well. Where am I? Marketing plan. Okay, basic elements of a marketing plan. Sorry. Off topic. Yesterday I had my daughter's, we were celebrating her birthday. We had a birthday party, so it was crazy. Lots of arrangements and everything. So I'm really tired today. Yeah, I had a very long day, and then setting up, cleaning up, and everything. And the problem here is this country is that you don't have Kajer Bua, you don't have everything. So I'm the Kajer Bua, I'm the the driver, I'm the many hats we have to put on here. So it's a bit difficult organizing everything single-handedly.
Happy birthday to her.
No, thanks. Yeah. Anyway, look, I'm going to move on to the next part very quickly. This complex diagram, it just shows model of IMC planning process. So what are the planning process involves? So when it comes to IMC planning process, I would like all of you to consider this one as an important part for your final exam, because we talked about IMC, but when it comes to the IMC planning, these are the steps. So first, you have a review of your marketing plan, what exactly that you are going to offer. Then you analyze the promotional program or the situation for which you are going to create your integrated marketing communication. Then you analyze your communication process. Then you determine your budget. Then you develop your integrated marketing communication program. So whether it's going to be through advertising or sales promotion, PR, personal selling, direct marketing, or internet or interactive media. It's not that you have to use all of them, but you can use 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. Develop objectives and strategy for each. Develop message, media strategy and tactics. Integrate and implement marketing communication strategies, and then finally monitor, evaluate, and control your IMC program. So that is just one way to look at your IMC. So I guess with the very quick class today, as I said, I'm just sort of rushing things a little bit as I'm keen to talk about the final exam. And then towards the end, I want to leave some time today for consultation as well, because I know some of you may have questions for me, so I would like to do that. But we'll just quickly move on to the newest era of IMC, which has included digital marketing. So we live in this era where personal selling, direct advertising, yes, those concepts still work, but more so these days, we are all affected by digital marketing. Okay, did I get interrupted again? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
hear you.
sir.
Okay, all right. So
Sir, we don't hear anything.
Yeah. So digital marketing can be described as actively promoting products and services using your digital distribution channels as an alternative to the more traditional mediums such as television or print and audio, things like that. That's known as your digital marketing. So your digital marketing is what taking over the world more these days. So we may just spend a little bit of time about the various tools of digital marketing. Today's consumers is more cognizant of the marketing messages all around them, leaving them more likely to tune out advertisement or other forms of marketing communications. So in the golden age of television, an ad on one of the big 3 networks could reach 70% of the viewing audience. Which was known as the golden age, like, back in the days when people used to think that TV is the advertisement, which could go to 70%, only 70% of your total viewing audience. Whereas nowadays, today's consumers receives roughly 1 million marketing messages a year on average. So if you consider that you as a consumer, how many advertising messages that you are getting exposed to, and what are the various forms? That could be sales, that could be in the shopping mall, that could be in the form of promotion, that could be direct sales. So Seth Godin is a popular scholar in the space of digital marketing. So according to him, today's consumers receive roughly 1 million marketing messages a year on average. How, like, if you think that, yeah, like 1 million marketing messages a year, that's crazy. It's insane amount of things that we get exposed to. So internet marketing, you all know that whatever happens it's all via internet, right? Everything that is happening, that is via the internet. No more TV, no more personal selling, no more radio advertising, no more direct sales. Yes, there could be direct sales, but it's only gonna be using internet. So you're using internet as your tool that will help you to promote. So that's one trend. Then comes mobile marketing. we know that mobile marketing refers to two different marketing means. One refers to marketing on or with a mobile device, while the other is meant to describe marketing on the go. So mobile marketing is something also we have to keep in mind as well. The simplest way to think about mobile marketing is that, obviously, as it says, that it's like what gives your mobile marketing power? A nice smartphone, the apps and everything these days. These are empowering people more to buy more, to be exposed to advertisement more. Apps is the other thing. Apps are individual software, and there's lots of businesses in the world. They have only done better because they had very great quality apps. So if you could also integrate into your marketing communication as well, rather than only the traditional channel, then that's also worth it. Social media.
Sir, sometimes Apex sends me message in my phone that there is a discount and something like that, free cashback. So these are also mobile marketing?
If you are receiving those via your mobile phones, yes, it is.
Okay, sir.
If it's not, you're not receiving that through mobile phone, if you're only receiving that through other media, then yeah, that needs to be understood clearly. What's the media? All right, someone needs to mute their microphone because it looks like you're traveling on the way. Social media, as we all know, that is dominating the world by far any other type of advertisement these days. And we know, like, probably Facebook is dominating the market, and right after Facebook, there's like, YouTube, and then other brands as well, Twitter, LinkedIn. These are also great popular brand as well. They're also doing very well. Can I request someone, all of you, to mute the microphone, please? Okay. Who is that causing distraction for us? Mahbub Rahman. You need some netiquette. This is called netiquette, Mahbub. I will mute you, but this is called netiquette. When you're online, when you're on internet, when you're on the internet, you have to learn this netiquette. That in a group discussion or in a classroom environment, always have your microphone turned off. Only when you are speaking, then you turn on, so that it does not create distraction. Buzz marketing or viral marketing is also another type of marketing. So viral marketing describes any strategy that encourages individuals to pass on a marketing message to others, creating the potential for exponential growth in the message's exposure and influence. So viral marketing is the digital marketer's version of word of mouth advertising. So simply, you are creating something to create a buzz or making things viral. Sometimes brands even use negative buzz as well for their brand, only with the intention that this will go out and it will create a buzz. Like, it can capture a massive amount of audience within a very short period of time. So that's why it's called buzz marketing or viral marketing.
Sir,
Yeah.
রিসেন্টলি যখন ওই যে আমাদের ক্রিকেটার লিটন দাসের পারফরমেন্স খারাপ ছিল, তখন এরকমের একটা অফার ছিল যে আজকে লিটন দাস যত রান করবে পিজায় তত টাকা ছাড় দেওয়া হবে। ইজ ইট এ ভাইরাল মার্কেটিং? বিকজ এই জিনিসটা অনেক বেশি ভাইরাল হয়েছিল। in a negative way, of course.
Yeah, this is viral marketing. Yeah, that's a good example.
Yes, sir. Even that I heard about the Nike and that they are making the shoes like they are called like the devil shoes. This is called like this negative marketing as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Neuromarketing is also another form of newest marketing that is growing in prominence. So neuromarketing is what? Essentially, actually, new marketing is done in many advertisement or advertising agencies sometimes do that. So what they do generally, they create great advertisements with some emotive appeal in the advertisement, all right? So that the advertisement is actually raising some form of emotion within the consumers. And to understand which type of emotion the advertisement is actually creating, some marketers even go to this extent that they will place some machines in people's brain, or not even like, it's not that they'll crush your brain and then they will get inside, but you will simply be attached with the computer or something, and then you will be given a specific type of drug or medicine. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, as I was saying, marketers, they'll create different types of advertisements, and then they will invite some people to watch those advertisements. Okay. Please keep your microphone turned off while you are in the class. Mahbub, you are causing distraction in the class. Okay, so with neuromarketing, the aim is that there will be some certain emotional appeal in the advertisement, okay? And consumers will be invited to take part into the test, and they'll place some devices with consumers' brain, and they'll try to assess whether it is raising that type of emotion into consumers' mind or not. That's called a neuromarketing. And then based on that, they will then take that product to the next level, or take that advertisement, make that public advertisement. So like that, the neuromarketing is becoming more prominent, where they scientifically research that which type of advertisements are better for this type of product, or this type of scenario. So there's lots of new types of marketing efforts are actually emerging, and these are all part of the IMC, integrated marketing communication. Ambush marketing, guerrilla marketing, these are also type of marketing as well. So guerrilla marketing is also it's the word suggests that guerrilla is you're just sitting in the market quiet and you're watching what others are doing, and then suddenly you will dive into the market with a new promotional offer that will take away the whole market share into your brand, something like that. That's a lot. Acha, ebare. Now we will be talking about some other stuff. Before we wind up our session, একটু অন্য প্রসঙ্গে কথা বলা যাক. So look, if I consider topic-wise, this was our obviously last topic, and we have discussed about all of the topics so far. So 12 weeks, 12 different topics we have talked about so far. Now, there's something that probably some of you will be missing after reading this course. This is something that's really, really very important. Okay, marketing yourself. So now just relax a little bit. I'm just going to have some off-topic discussion, because I think this is also really very important. Okay. I'll probably just be a bit informal now to Bangla Kotha Boli, and since we don't have our international students Lamin here today, so I think we have the luxury to spend a bit of time speaking in Bangla as well, just as we're nearing the close of the session. So I guess what I'm trying to say today, এবং যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি সেটা হচ্ছে যে marketing yourself, because you're all postgrad student and you are just completing this course about marketing management. Okay, that's a mouthful, marketing and management. But have you ever thought about je nijeke kiভাবে market kora jay? Because you're also a product, right? When you go to the job market, when you go outside to do something, you are a product. So how do you sell yourself? That's a big question. Nijeke kiভাবে sell kora jay? So you need to have the skill to market yourself. That's really important. Tell me, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? When it comes to marketing self, what does that concept means to you?
Sorry, about marketing myself.
Yeah.
ফর এক্সাম্পল স্যার লিঙ্কডইনে নিজের প্রোফাইল একদম আপডেটেড রাখা, যেরকম আমার অ্যাচিভমেন্টস গুলো জানানো, আমার যদি কোনো জব থাকে, জব মানে আমার জবের রেসপন্সিবিলিটিস গুলো ওখানে ওভাবে লেখা যে আমি কি কি করি না করি। ইন ফিউচার আদার অপরচুনিটি যদি আসে, লাইক অনেক সময় অনেক কোম্পানি ক্যান্ডিডেটদের প্রোফাইল ভিউ করে, তখন যাতে একটা প্রায়োরিটি পাওয়া যায় যদি ঠিকভাবে সবকিছু লেখা থাকে, স্পেশালি দ্য অ্যাচিভমেন্টস।
Yeah, look, I mean, that's right. I mean, this is still job centered চিন্তা ভাবনা হয়ে যাচ্ছে. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have to come out of this concept of getting a job only, but you have to think along the lines of many other things. Okay, so for instance, প্রথম যে জিনিসটা, that is that key marketing tools. Okay, so what have I accomplished where I am now, and where will my career be if I do not take action? Very important thing. Okay, so it also first thing you need to keep in mind that আমি আজকে যেখানে আছি এবং যা যতটুকু অ্যাচিভ করেছি, কিন্তু এগুলো আসলে কি হবে? আমি দেখা যাচ্ছে যে হ্যাঁ, খুব সুন্দর একটা পোস্ট গ্রাড ডিগ্রি করলাম, অনেক ভালো স্পেশালাইজেশন, অনেক টাকা খরচ করে একটা হয়তো পোস্ট গ্রাড একটা ডিগ্রি করলাম, বাট I don't have any clear direction. That's a big problem. Okay, so you need to take direction as well. Jay, what's your ultimate direction, or where do you want to head? Where do I want to go with my career? Okay, আমি কোথায় যেতে চাচ্ছি? How do I put my plan into action? যে action plan আছে সেটাকে আমরা কিভাবে execute করতে পারছি? What do I need to change if I'm not getting success? এই জায়গাটা, this is really important, and I want all of you to concentrate here. Create your mission statement. Okay, so your mission statement says what is important to you. Write yours before starting a career to get on the right path and connect with companies that have similar values and beliefs. So what to include? Goals, core values, successes, offerings. Okay, so Ami slide gula, I created this slide specifically so that I can step outside of the classroom a little bit, because I think this is really important. You need to create a vision statement about yourself. Look into the big picture. Okay, look at the big picture And where do you see yourself from where you are now? So you have to create your mission statement. SWOT yourself. আমরা SWOT পড়েছি না? I hope we all remember what SWOT is, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We do.
Okay, that's good. So SWOT analysis, if we could possibly use this technique to our own lives, fine. Find your key strengths, find your key weaknesses, find your key opportunities, find your threats. That's really important. And you can do that exercise. Anyway, I will just go straight to towards the end. The topic that I was leaning into, I was discussing about this, that elevator speech. Okay, Bushra, go ahead.
Sir, I have an appointment today. Can I take leave now? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Okay, all right.
Sir, please consider today's presence then. Thank you.
Yeah, today is the last day anyway in our class, so I will definitely consider that. Make sure that you check
Sure.
the slide. The slides will have the
Yes, sir.
discussion about final exam chapters and everything. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Who can tell me what is elevator pitch?
Sir, a short description which will tell everything about us.
Yes, sir.
Like
That
in a short
we are
period
just
of
present.
time, we have to describe ourselves.
Yes, sir. Presenting ourselves.
Why does it call elevator pitch?
Because within this shortest span of time, we have to highlight our everything, key strengths, weakness, long-term, short-term goal. That's why it's elevator speech or something like that.
When are we visiting someone in elevator, we need to introduce ourselves in this short time, like when we are going up to down in an elevator. That's why it's called elevator speech.
Okay. What? Anyone else?
Like it's like connecting with someone else. Like we are connecting ourselves with someone else by giving the
Yes.
short
So the
about
thing
us.
is, the analogy that is being used, that imagine you want to get a job and you just stepped into this lift and suddenly you saw the person of that same company, the leader of that same company is with you in the elevator from where you are trying to get a job. Okay, so maybe his elevator goes to the level 10 or 15. Okay, so he's just traveling from level 10 to 15, but higher than that because he's like a big shot, or he or she. Now, if you were to convince that individual by the time the elevator would reach to his or her floor, you need to be able to tell him or her something that is convincing enough. Okay, so just in 1 or 2 lines that, oh, hi, hello, my name is Ayasha Islam. I am a postgrad student. I have completed my bachelor's degree. And then this is what I'm currently doing now, and this is what I want to desire, or this is what I want to achieve. So that's how you do it. So first, in the elevator speech, you start with something about yourself, and in a convincing, in a way that whoever you're presenting that, they will actually understand what you're trying to say. And it's a very short, like, the lift may get to his or her floor maybe 10 seconds, or you may hardly have 15 seconds, or even less than that. So within that short amount of time, how can you convince your desired, like, company's CEO or the boss, because you're getting one chance nowadays. Okay, so that's called elevator speech. All right. Now, final exam. I'm just about to share the topics for final exam. Okay, so these are the chapters that are included in the final exam. 5 chapters are included for the final exam. Okay, so we are in week 12. And we may have missed out few discussion class or something like that in between, but these are the 5 different topics that we will be looking at for the final exam. And in the final exam, there will be 3 questions out of 4, and you have to answer like 3 questions out of 4. Yeah. So there will be 4 questions, and you have to answer any 3 questions. Okay. Exam duration.
Exam will be online or offline?
Yes, good question. So I knew that this question is going to come, and the answer is it is going to be an online exam. You don't have to sit for a physical exam, or you don't have to go to the campus and do the exam. You can do the exam on your home, but keep in mind it will be happening on the same day that is mentioned in the list of exam. You already may have received that exam list, and you already know what the sorry, I was just cutting out a little bit my voice.
Yes, sir, it's 3 September.
Yes. হ্যাঁ, so যেটা বলছিলাম যে পরীক্ষার যে দিন বা তারিখ যেটা আছে সেই দিনই হবে, কিন্তু পরীক্ষাটা কিভাবে আমাদের অনলাইনে পরীক্ষা হবে, that's also for sure. So next up you'll receive generally যেটা হয়েছে আমাদের mid term-এ, that you will be emailed the question and you will be given a specific time, এবং যে টাইমে পরীক্ষাকে 3 তারিখে পরীক্ষার টাইম কয়টা, কেউ কি বলতে পারো আমাকে?
Sir, 6:30 or 7.
Sir, as
7,
usual,
sir, 7
sir.
p.m.
Okay, so yeah, আমাদের পরীক্ষাটা ঠিক একই সময়ে শুরু হবে, মিড টার্ম মিড টার্ম না, ফাইনাল এক্সাম আমাদের ঠিক একই সময়ে শুরু হবে। এবং এর আগে মিড টার্মেও আমরা যেটা করেছিলাম যে একটা কোশ্চেন, ইট ওয়াজ হ্যান্ডেড ওভার টু ইউ এক্স্যাক্টলি at the 6:30, and you will have 2 hours and 10 minutes to write. So right after 2 hours and 10 minutes, you just have to submit your final paper. এখন failure to do that, if you think that something is happening internet or anything, that problem you have to sort out for the day. ঠিক আছে, যে you have to have your smartphone ready, you have to have your computer ready, so that you're all well set up, so that there's no interruption. For the final exam, unfortunately, you cannot give me the excuse of যে স্যার আমার ইন্টারনেট ছিল না বা আমার কারেন্ট ছিল না বা whatever the situation is. You have to organize that, যে কিভাবে এই সমস্যার সমাধান করা যায়। যেমন কারেন্ট যদি না থাকে সেক্ষেত্রে কিভাবে আমার ব্যাটারিকে আগে থেকে চার্জ দিয়ে রাখা যায়, এবং যদি অল্টারনেটিভ কোনো ইউএসবি চার্জার বা হ্যান কিছু থেকে করা যেতে পারে, এই ধরনের কিছু জিনিস চিন্তা ভাবনা করতে হবে। বাট খুব সিম্পলি মাত্র 5টা চ্যাপ্টার আছে আমাদের ফাইনাল এক্সামে, এই 5টা থেকে আমাদের কোশ্চেন হবে। সো 4টা কোশ্চেন হবে এবং 4টার মধ্যে থেকে 3টা অ্যান্সার করতে হবে।
স্যার চ্যাপ্টার একটা কমিয়ে দিলে খুব ভালো হতো স্যার।
স্যার চ্যাপ্টার একটা স্যার কমানো যায় স্যার?
Sir, lots of topics are there, so we will be too much confused if we try to cover all the chapters.
Yes, sir. একটা চ্যাপ্টার কমিয়ে দেন।
So it would be better if we actually learn less but learn something qualityful.
এই যে দেখেন স্যার, আজকে আপনি এতগুলো স্লাইড দেখেছেন, নিজেই টায়ার্ড হয়ে গেছিলেন।
একটু চাপের
সময়
মধ্যে
দিলে
পড়ে
ভালো।
গেলাম দেখছি সবার মধ্যে। Well, look, I mean, the thing is যে আমরা কিন্তু চ্যাপ্টার সবগুলো কভার করে ফেলেছি, হ্যাঁ? So এই যে জিনিসগুলো আমাদের অলরেডি ইটস অল কাভার্ড, সো এটার মানে এই না যে ইউ হ্যাভ টু গো থ্রু দ্যাট এগেন এন্ড ডু লটস অফ স্টাডিজ। ব্যাপারটা কি তাই? ইউ অলরেডি আর অ্যাক্রস অল অফ দিস, এখানে নতুন করে শেখার কিছু নাই, এখন শুধু স্লাইড গুলোকে একটু রিভিউ করা, এন্ড আই ডোন্ট থিঙ্ক দ্যাট ইজ গোয়িং টু বি ডিফিকাল্ট, রাইট? Okay, so anyway, for the sake of public, যেহেতু public একটা demand আছে, we will reduce the chapter, one chapter. আমরা প্রথমে strategic marketing planning এর যে চ্যাপ্টারটা আছে এটাকে I will remove this one.
Thank you,
This
sir.
is only
Thank
for,
you.
like,
Thank you, sir.
since there is a public demand,
Thank you, sir.
demand-এর জন্য, let's do that. So I'm just removing this one, strategic marketing planning. So we will not be having this one. So we'll have these 4 chapters: building long-term customer relationship, competitive and effective brand positioning, product mix and new offerings, এবং আজকের যে চ্যাপ্টারটা করছি, which is this one. So there will be 4 questions, এবং 4 questions এর মধ্যে থেকে you have to write any 3 question. হয়তো it could be broken into A and B. There is a possibility of that. So the full marks obviously is 30 marks. এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের 30 marks এর exam. So 3টা question লিখতে হবে এবং 3টা হচ্ছে 3টাতে 10 marks করে, the maximum value is 10 marks.
স্যার এটা কি 2 hours 30 minutes করা যায়?
না, এখানে কোনো কম্প্রোমাইজ করা যাবে না। ইনফ্যাক্ট এটা হচ্ছে 2 hour exactly. The time is exactly 2 hours. 10 minutes is only additional time that is given to sort out, like, to reading the questions and everything. Because সবকিছুতে আমরা কম্প্রোমাইজ করতে পারবো না। আমাদের যে পলিসি যেগুলো আছে সেটা স্ট্যান্ডার্ড অন্যান্য এমবিএ এর যে কোর্স আছে সেগুলো সবটার সাথে কনসিস্টেন্ট রাখতে হবে আমাদের।
স্যার তাহলে এক্সামটা কি একটু 7টার সময় শুরু করা যায়? কারণ স্যার ওই যে 6:30টার দিকে নামাজ আছে তো।
হ্যাঁ, sure, we can start at 7 o'clock. So 7টা থেকে ঠিক আমরা 9:10 our exam will be closed.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। স্যার কোন
Thank you,
চ্যাপ্টার
sir.
আছে, লাইক আপনি তো এখন এটা বলেছেন, বাট এটা কি মেইলে আবার দেয়া হবে, লাইক মিড টার্মে যেরকম দেয়া হয়েছিল
হ্যাঁ,
মেইলে?
আমি মেইল
জি,
করে
sir.
আরেকটা ফাইনাল ইনস্ট্রাকশন আরেকটা দিয়ে দিব, এবং সেখানে ফাইনাল ইনস্ট্রাকশনে সবকিছু আর কি ক্লিয়ারলি লেখা থাকবে। তবে
Yes, sir.
এক্সাম
Thank you, sir.
প্রিপারেশনের জন্য that's what's important. You just need to keep in mind for the exam preparation is that you have to, like, go through the topics and you have to go through the textbooks, just so that you understand the situation better, যে কি ধরনের কোশ্চেন হতে পারে। তারপরে what are the core theories, যে প্রত্যেকটা থেকে, যেমন for instance if we talk about product, so if we read product, what are the core concepts that might come? You have to pre-assess, you have to read, you have to pre-assess the situation. Are there any particular scenarios that I could use, illustrate? যেমন আমি একটা এক্সাম্পল দিই, যে আমরা মিড টার্মে যে এক্সাম্পল আমরা পরীক্ষাতে বলেছিলাম, যে আমরা একটা ই-কমার্স একটা স্টোর, ইমাজিন ইউ আর দ্য ফাউন্ডার অফ এ ই-কমার্স ব্র্যান্ড এবং ইউ হ্যাভ টু সিলেক্ট ওয়ান সেগমেন্টেশন স্ট্র্যাটেজি। সো এখানেও কিছুটা হচ্ছে যে ইটস এ সিনারিও বেসড, যে ইউ ক্যান সি দ্য সিনারিওস, লাইক ইউ ক্যান সি দ্য সেগমেন্টেশন, বা সবকিছু বই থেকে বা your hand notes থেকে you can see, but কিভাবে আসলে কোনটা অ্যাপ্লাই করা যায়, এই জন্য you have to use your knowledge। এবং ওই জায়গাতে কিন্তু অনেকেরই আমি দেখেছি প্রবলেম আছে, যেমন অনেকেই হয়তো ভুল করে লিখেছে, যে একটা ই-কমার্স ব্র্যান্ডের তারা বলছে যে আমরা জিওগ্রাফিক সেগমেন্টেশন করতে চাই। Now if you are doing a business of e-commerce, why would you do a geographic segmentation? Because geographic segmentation তো না থাকার জন্যই তো ই-কমার্স বিজনেস, এবং দ্যাট ইজ দ্য বিগেস্ট অ্যাডভান্টেজ, দ্যাট ইউ আর এলিমিনেটিং দ্য ফ্যাক্ট অফ জিওগ্রাফিক সেগমেন্ট, বিকজ ইউ ওয়ান্ট ইউর product to reach to a wider number of audience, or customers. So you're not certainly going to do geographically divide them and then sell your products separately to each areas. Rather, you will try to sell your unique product to everyone in the same form and format. So again,
Sir, I had a question, sir.
yeah.
Sir, for question one, আমি যে সেখানে দিয়েছিলাম হচ্ছে behavioral segment, but while giving the comment with the result, you added that geographical segment should be added. কারণ হচ্ছে একটা segment দিলে that would be much more constrained.
I have to go back to your paper again. So you said that you have given behavioral
segment. Sir, আপনি বলেছেন যে একটা সেগমেন্ট ইউজ করলে that will be much more constrained. So দুইটা সেগমেন্ট ইউজ করার জন্য I could write geographical segment with that also. But as
I guess that makes sense. যখন আমরা শুধুমাত্র behavioral যে একটা জিনিসকে নিয়েই যখন আমি করতে যাচ্ছি, because behavioral segmentationটা কি? এটা হচ্ছে যে consumer specific behavior based, তাই না? যে কনজিউমারদের বিহেভিয়ার, সো সেটা একটা হতে পারে, কিন্তু that becomes a very narrow segmentation strategy. So always you have to think about যে একটা e-commerce ব্র্যান্ডের জন্য it's important to have a broad segmentation strategy. কিন্তু সেখানে আবার চিন্তা করতে হবে যে ব্রড করতে যে আমি যদি জিওগ্রাফিক্যালি তাদেরকে সেগমেন্ট করে ফেলি, যে যেমন আমি জিওগ্রাফিক সেগমেন্টেশনটার অর্থ কি, যে সেটা মানে হচ্ছে যে আমরা কনজিউমারদেরকে separating them based on separate areas, যে তারা বিভিন্ন জায়গায় থাকে, লোকেশন ওয়াইজ তাদেরকে সেগমেন্ট করছি। কিন্তু আমার ই-কমার্স স্টোরের বা বিজনেসের উদ্দেশ্যটাই তো হচ্ছে যে জিওগ্রাফিক যে বর্ডার বা সেটাকে এলিমিনেট করা, যে ইট কুড বি অ্যাক্সেসড বাই এভরিওয়ান ফ্রম এনিওয়্যার ইন দ্য কান্ট্রি। সো সেই ক্ষেত্রে জিনিসটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা যখন একটু বিহেভিয়ারাল সেগমেন্টেশন করতে যাচ্ছি, that is again a narrow specialization. So that type we can do some integration with one another.
Okay, sir, got it. Sir, I had another question, sir. Can I say?
Can we leave the midterm questions after the discussion, the final exam discussion report? Yeah, okay, let's do that. আমি attendance নেওয়ার পরে তারপরে আমরা will talk about the midterm papers and everything. So আমি আগে final exam এর question এর কথাটা শেষ করে নিই। সেটা হচ্ছে যে final exam, so it's going to be very theoretical, with very scenario based. So you need to understand the concept very well so that you can write based on your understanding. So there's no point of memorizing concepts. I mean, yes, it's a take-home exam, so you will have your notes, you can browse internet, you can, do whatever you like, but eventually you will have to write, like the questions will be very scenario based, so you will have to apply your knowledge, and that we will see in your write-up.
Sir, মানে যদি আমাকে কোনো প্রোডাক্ট বা সার্ভিসের জন্য আইএমসি প্ল্যানিং করতে হয়, তো স্যার সেক্ষেত্রে বাজেটিং পয়েন্টটাতে কি করব? মানে সব, মানে এটা তো কাইন্ড অফ সিনারিও বেসড, তো সেক্ষেত্রে বাজেটিংটা কি আমি যা প্ল্যান করতেছি যে মিডিয়াগুলো, ওইখানে কত টাকা হবে একটা অ্যাপ্রক্সিমেট বলে দিব?
It depends, it really depends. It's not as simple as that. এটার মধ্যে অনেক থরো প্ল্যানিং থাকে, এবং আসলে ইন্টিগ্রেটেড মার্কেটিং এর ক্ষেত্রে আমরা যে জিনিসটা দেখলাম যে এখানে বাজেট বা এগুলোর প্রশ্নগুলো আসে অনেক পরে। আগের যে আমরা যদি এখানে যাই স্লাইডে, আমরা এখানে যেগুলো দেখছিলাম যে analysis of the communication process, analysis of promotional program situation, review of marketing plan, এই যে সব জিনিসগুলো করার পরে কিছু অ্যানালিসিস থেকে কিছু রেজাল্ট আসবে, যে আমি কত বড় একটা অডিয়েন্সের কাছে পৌঁছাতে চাচ্ছি, এবং সেই অডিয়েন্সের কাছে পৌঁছাতে গেলে আসলে আমার কতখানি টাকা লাগতে পারে, এবং সেগুলো সব ইউ হ্যাভ টু প্রি অ্যাসেস। যেমন I don't know if you guys have seen যে ফেসবুকে যে বিজনেসের পেজকে বুস্ট করা যায়, রাইট? You may have seen যে ফেসবুকে if you have a business page, you can actually boost your page, এবং বুস্ট করার আগে সেখানে বিভিন্ন কোয়েশ্চেন করে যে তুমি কত বড় অডিয়েন্সের কাছে যেতে চাচ্ছ, এবং সেই অডিয়েন্স গুলা কি কি ক্যারেক্টারিস্টিক্স আছে, অনেকগুলো ফিল্টার আছে, সেগুলো ফিল্টার করার পরে সেখানে একটা বাজেটের একটা অ্যালোকেশন দেওয়া হয় যে আচ্ছা তুমি পার ডে যদি এতখানি টাকা স্পেন্ড করো তাহলে তুমি এত বড় অডিয়েন্সের কাছে যেতে পারবা, তুমি যদি এত টাকা স্পেন্ড করো তাহলে তুমি এত বড় অডিয়েন্সের কাছে যেতে পারবা। সো বাজেটটা ঠিক ডিপেন্ড করে যে আমি কত বড় অডিয়েন্সের কাছে আসলে যেতে চাচ্ছি। এটা সিম্পল, এতটা সিম্পল না, বা আমরা এইভাবে করে সরাসরি বলে দিতে পারবো
Sir,
না।
obviously it depends, but sir, just I want to know that obviously it depends, but do we have to represent any type of breakdown, any type of calculation, numerical, something
Of
numerical?
course, definitely.
Yes,
There will
sir,
be lots
like-
of, there are different
Yeah.
calculation methods. There are different calculation methods. And these methods also relates back with your pricing strategy. These methods relates with your overall, the market share, all of these things. এগুলোর উপর বেস করে তখন বিভিন্ন ধরনের ফর্মুলা সেখানে ইউজ করা যেতে পারে।
স্যার ওই যে যখন কমিউনিকেশন প্রোগ্রাম সিলেক্ট করব, যেমন এখানে অ্যাডভার্টাইজিং, সেলস প্রমোশন এসব আছে, সো এখানে তো মানে আমি যে প্রোডাক্ট বা সার্ভিস নিচ্ছি এখানে তো আমার ফুল ফ্রিডম আছে আমি কোনটা নিতে চাচ্ছি, তাই না স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, ফ্রিডম আছে, এবং সেখানে দ্যাটস অলসো অ্যানাদার ফ্যাক্টর ইজ ইটস নট অ্যাবাউট ইয়োর ফ্রিডম, ইটস অ্যাবাউট হোয়াট দ্য যে অডিয়েন্সরা আসলে কি চাই বা কোন জিনিসটা অডিয়েন্সের জন্য এই কনটেক্সটে অ্যাপ্রোপ্রিয়েট হবে। ঠিক আছে, ধরা যাক যে আমরা এমন একটা প্রোডাক্ট নিয়ে আমরা ডিল করছি যে যেখানে আর কি আমাদের কনজিউমারটা হচ্ছে একটা স্পেসিফিক, দে বিলং টু এ স্পেসিফিক নিশ, একটা স্পেসিফিক এরিয়াতে বা একটা স্পেসিফিক বয়সে। সো তাদেরকে আসলে কোন জিনিসটা আর কি রিলেটেবল হবে তাদের জন্য, দ্যাট ইউ হ্যাভ টু সিলেক্ট। So it's not about যে আমার যেটা ইচ্ছা সেটা আমি করব তা না, but it's more about which one would be more relevant for them.
তাহলে স্যার সেগমেন্টেশন করা লাগতে পারে, লাইক কাস্টমার প্রোফাইল, মানে এটা
Of
বলে
course,
দেন আইএমসি
definitely.
করাটা।
Definitely.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
Okay, Sumaya has raised questions. Sumaya, go ahead. What's your question?
স্যার আমি তো জিওগ্রাফিক সেগমেন্টেশন দিয়েছিলাম, কিন্তু আপনি আমাকে কমেন্টে লিখেছেন যে এলিমিনেটিং দ্য জিওগ্রাফিক ব্যারিয়ার্স ইজ দ্য মেইন রিজন ফর হুইচ দ্য বিজনেস মডেল ইজ ভার্চুয়াল, রাইট? আপনি আমার কমেন্টে এটা দিয়েছিলেন, নাম্বার 1টা।
হ্যাঁ, সেটাই, exactly, that's what I said, that eliminating the border, that is the goal of geographic, not, I mean, what I meant to say is that eliminating the border, that is what you're trying to do with an e-business, an e-commerce business that is planning to eliminate the border. And if you're considering a geographic segmentation, that is, you are targeting only a specific area, but ছোট ছোট ভাবে জিওগ্রাফিক লোকেশনটাকে আমি ভাগ করে আমি সেখানে করার চেষ্টা করছি, সো সেখানে by default there is a problem. So can I leave this discussion after the class, like let's just wrap up our class, এবং শেষে আমি কিছু টাইম রাখছি, at least 10 minutes আমাদের থাকবে, তখন আমি জাস্ট আমাদের
স্যার একটা কোশ্চেন, আরেকটা কোশ্চেন ছিল।
Can we leave that discussion until I finish the final exam and this discussion? I'm saying
স্যার ফাইনাল সম্পর্কে একটা কোশ্চেন।
হ্যাঁ, ফাইনাল সম্পর্কে কোশ্চেন you can ask, Itila.
স্যার মিডে তো আমরা আমাদের নরমাল জিমেইল দিয়ে দিয়েছি, ফাইনাল আমরা কোন মেইল দিয়ে অ্যানসার স্ক্রিপ্ট সাবমিট করব? কারণ আপনারা তো মেইল পাঠান সব আমাদের নরমাল মেইলে আসছে।
হ্যাঁ, সেটা নিয়ে আসলে আমি জিনিসটা নিয়ে আমি নিজেও একটু চিন্তা করছি, বিকজ সিন্স উই হ্যাড সাম প্রবলেম উইথ ইমেল সাবমিশন, এবং as I said that I had difficulties in collecting your papers, এবং এই জন্যই আমার মার্ক ডিস্ট্রিবিউট করতে দেরি হয়েছে, because some of them they just landed into my junk folder, some of you sent from different emails. So possibility, there could be two possibilities. possibilities হচ্ছে যে there will be a strict instructions to use your student email. That could be one possibility. The second possibility could be, again, I'm just thinking, and we have to test this one a little bit, that you may be given a Google form. Okay, so with the questions, you may be given a Google form where you will have the space to write your responses. So in that case, কোনো কিছু সাবমিট করতে হবে না, গুগল ফর্মে একটা স্পেস দেয়া থাকবে, blank space দেয়া থাকবে. You just have to simply write your response into that form, and then simply, as soon as you're done, you just hit send, and that comes to me automatically.
স্যার গুগল ফর্মে দিলে আমাদের কি ওখানে রেস্ট্রিকশন দেওয়া থাকবে? মাঝে মাঝে এমন হয় যে ফার্স্ট কোশ্চেন অ্যানসার না করে সেকেন্ড কোশ্চেনে যেতে পারছি
না না, সেটা ডেফিনেটলি সেটা চিন্তা করেই করা হবে যেন সেই ধরনের কোনো সিচুয়েশন না হয়। সো প্রথম যে মিড টার্মের যে এক্সপেরিয়েন্সটা ছিল সেখানকার প্রবলেমগুলো আই হোপ যে সেটা যেন হবে না, এবং উই উইল ট্রাই টু মেক শিওর দ্যাট ইটস নট ডিফিকাল্ট ফর ইউ ইন এনি ওয়ে, এবং এটা যেন কোনো ডিস্ট্রাকশন ক্রিয়েট না করে। You can nicely write your exam paper and then you can just simply submit, এবং সেখানে যেন আমরা অন্যান্য ফ্যাক্টরগুলোকে যেন এলিমিনেট করতে পারি সেই জিনিসটা চিন্তা করে। বাট প্লিজ await the instruction, আমার ইমেলে সেই ইনস্ট্রাকশনটা ক্লিয়ারলি থাকবে। Right now, I want you just simply to take preparation based on those 4 topics that we just shared today. And then, you know, I mean, the exam process and everything, I will share to you on like, you know, well before the exam. But one thing you just need to take in mind that the exam date and time that remains the same. We will start the exam at 7 p.m. We'll start the final exam at 7 p.m. So that's the thing you just have to keep in mind.
Sir, I have a question to ask you.
For the final exam, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was the previous week group discussion that you have asked to discuss. The question was discuss the relationship between the product being distributed and the pattern of distribution it uses. Sir, will you please make it easy to understand? I couldn't understand it actually. So should I repeat it again?
Yeah, so you're talking about the topic, like last week's topic, the discussion question, right?
Yes, sir, group discussion question.
Okay. Can this wait for after we finish our, like, you know, final exam talk?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's just wrap things up here, guys. So final exam, we've talked about this one. I hope you're all clear with the final exam expectation. So look, I mean, all I can say is good luck to you. Hope you've enjoyed the session. There's one thing that you will probably have to do is to complete a student feedback, student evaluation for this course. So I will check with the administrator that we can do that during the day of the final exam as well. So this is really important for bracuniversity as it values your input into the course delivery, into our teaching, into your overall experience. So we would definitely appreciate your feedback into that. So I'll be sharing that with you. But other than that, I mean, look, I mean, I really enjoyed this class, although আমাদের ক্লাসের experience, it was totally virtual. I only was able to take one class physically. আমি যখন বাংলাদেশে ছিলাম, so very first class I was there physically. So ওইটাই প্রথম interaction ছিল with some of you, but not all of you. Only some of you were in that day in the class, so I can just recall, walking down the memory lane, I can recall that day যে প্রথম যেদিন ক্লাসে গেছিলাম. So that was a good experience. Obviously family circumstances জন্য আমাকে চলে আসতে হয়েছে এখানে. My wife, she's pregnant with our second child. And we are expecting our second
Congratulations,
child.
sir.
Thank you so much. So we're expecting our second child, inshallah, next month. So that was the main reason that we had to just plan things very quickly. But look, I mean,
sir.
Thank you so much. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So, আমার মনে হয় না এরপরে এক্সামের মধ্যে তো আর দেখা হবে না, because exam will simply send you the form and you have to submit. So আমার মনে হয় না আমাদের আর এরপরে class related কোনো কিছু তো আর দেখা টাকা হবে. So today probably the last time we are talking and watching each other. So আমার সাথে যোগাযোগ রাখার জন্য I always try to, আমার সাথে মনে হয় যে আমার স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে I have built a very lifelong connection with all of my students, and social mediaতে আমি একটু বেশি active. I like to keep connected, এবং আমার মনে হয় যে আজকালকার দিনে মানুষ যেহেতু সোশ্যাল মিডিয়াতে বেশি টাইম স্পেন্ড করে, so I think I try to teach my, not teach, I guess try to influence my students more in social media and stuff. So that's probably a best way to, like, I guess classroom বাইরে to take my teaching. So that's what I've been trying. So these are the places that you'll find me. Definitely feel free to stay connected, and I've got your email as well. You have my email as well, and definitely stay connected as well. If you ever need any guidance from me from any study related, education related matters, be it higher education, overseas, be it research, be it even professional level as well, if you ever need any guidance, I'm more than happy to support you. So I will stop sharing my screen now. Okay, so এবারে আমাদের কোয়েশ্চেন এবং অ্যান্সারের পালা। সো আমি একটু স্ট্রাকচার্ড ওয়েতে জিনিসটা করি। সো if anyone has got any feedback about this whole course, I want to know from you. So I'm not talking about anything else, just talking about your overall feedback about this course. Feel free to share.
Sir, I have a question
Yeah, go ahead.
related to term paper.
Term paper question needs to wait a little longer, Sumaya.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
স্যার আমাদের যাদের কোনো কোশ্চেন নাই মোটামুটি তারা স্যার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সটা আগে নিয়ে নেন।
Yes, sir. That's the primary question.
Very transactional. Nuhash, very good. স্যার আসল কাজটা করেন, তারপরে যা পেঁচাল পড়া, তারপরে পেঁচালটা তারপরে পড়েন স্যার, আসল কাজ আগে করে ফেলি আমরা। That's very good. Okay, I should probably stop recording now.